What's going on, guys? So in this video I have a fragrance that I've been meaning to do a review for a very long time. I just started revisiting it recently. It's actually my scent of the evening. I wore it a couple of days ago. I've been spraying it randomly and kind of falling in love all over again with Mr. Burberry Indigo. I want to talk to you about it today, so stay tuned. So I'll have the notes on screen for you guys, and this is most notably related to, at least according to what most people say, Acqua di Gio Profumo. And while I can admittedly get some of the earthy green tones to it, the aquatic nature, things of that sort, it is relatable, but I do think it kind of stands on its own. This is one of those blue fragrances that takes elements from other popular similar style fragrances and kind of does its own thing at the same time because it's very rosemary dominant. In the opening, yes, you're going to get some mint. It's bright, it's green, it's fresh, spicy. It's got a lot of that going. The citruses kind of blend together. I don't really get much of one specific. It doesn't really jump out too much as grapefruit or bergamot or lemon, even though they're all there. It's kind of a citrus, juicy fruit, citrus type of medley. There's some aquatic notes here. I believe it's watery notes is what's in there. There's a little bit of violet that provides kind of a slightly earthy floral tone, more so than a lot of powder. More a little bit of powder, to be completely honest with you. And this tea note just kind of adds more of an herbaceous feel. But the main things I really smell here is the sage, which is kind of the note that ties most blue fragrances together. That aquatic tone, the green, fresh, spicy nature, that minty freshness, and then it, like I said, admittedly gets a little bit more earthy. There's different stages to the green facets of this fragrance because in the base, you do have a little bit of oak moss. It's not heavy on the chypre side of aromatic profiles, but it does offer a little bit of a slightly earthy green tone. You get a little bit of a smooth woody amber feel because I believe it's Isui Super is the only wood-related note in this fragrance. But it's overall pleasant. It's not as complex as the note breakdown would lead you to believe. It's more about fresh, spicy, aquatic, and green. That's pretty much the easiest way to sum this fragrance up. It's very versatile. It's a crowd pleaser. I can't imagine too many people not liking the way this smells. It doesn't come across chemically synthetic, though it does have some Isui Super. It's not an Isui Super bomb. So it's, like I said, it kind of is a pleasant surprise compared to most blue fragrances of its time because it is a release from recent years. But you know, the scent on it's great. It doesn't get enough love these days. I'm glad to reach back in my collection and spend some more time with it to discuss with you guys about this because, yeah, this is a 30 ml. That's why it doesn't have the, you know, the marked bow tie that this line, all the bottles usually have. It's not shorter and stubbier. It's got a standard cap, but this is one of the 30 mLs. But doesn't change the fact that the juice inside the bottle smells great. Now, in regards to performance, it's not a beast by any means whatsoever. It does kind of perform slightly above average. It's been falling in the 6 to 7 hour range of life on my skin. Average I consider 5 to 6 hours. So when I start going above that 6, 7, 8 hours, that's what I consider above average. Here it's slightly above average, so I can safely call it 6 to 8 hours is kind of the range you can expect if you have slightly oily skin like I do. That's kind of the range I'm getting. You may get less, you may get more. Your mileage will vary. Projection's not too heavy here. It's kind of average, arm's reach type of stuff. If you spray relatively heavy, of course your scent bubble will be bigger and bigger the more you dial up the sprays. So depending on how much you want to spray is going to depend on how much people will notice you with this fragrance on. It's very pleasing to passersby in my experience over the years that I've had this fragrance. And the sillage is nothing special here. It doesn't have some dense, strong aromatic trail that's just going to captivate and grab people when you walk by. If they're breathing through their nose and you pass within a few feet, they may get a light whiff of the aroma. So I would consider the sillage here more on the mild side, moderate to mild, more so mild, because once that projection after about 2 hours starts to calm down, like I said, the sillage isn't extremely strong, but it's not super weak either. That's why I say more in that moderate / mild area. So performance is about what you would expect here. It's above average. It's better than most in its price bracket, because you can get this one for a good price these days from discounters. So overall, I think the scent matches the performance perfectly. My final thoughts on this one is it's better than most blue fragrances these days, to be honest with you. It's kind of a dark horse in the realm of blue fragrances or more fresh, spicy green crowd pleasers, because this kind of falls into both of those brackets, to be honest with you. And I think it's honestly every bit of a 7 out of 10 fragrance. This is a very good fragrance in my rating system. 7 and 7.5 are very good, and this is definitely very good. I don't think it's great. A lot of blue fragrances are going to fall into this 7 to 8 range for me. Obviously, there are some that don't quite get up to snub of this one. That'll be more in the 6 range, but there's also some that are more in that 8.5, 9 range, which is rare for a blue fragrance. For as much as I do love them, they all kind of fall into that very good to great category for the most part, because it is suitable to my taste. It is one of my personal preferences when it comes to scent profiles. I like fresh, spicy greens, watery aquatics, iris, things of those nature, and a lot of those facets can be found in blue fragrances, and you get a lot of that here. The violet doesn't necessarily offer much of an iris feel, but it's relatable because iris has a little bit of a violet feel. So a lot of the things I just mentioned are in this fragrance, so naturally I was going to like it. So if you haven't tried this one yet, probably worth your time. Well, that's my quick thoughts and feelings on Mr. Burberry Indigo. I know there's a new release at the recording of this, newer release, called Mr. Burberry Element. I have yet to try it. I do have the Eau de Parfum, which is a past love of mine. That's more of an evening wear scent for me as far as the way the scent profile is. Never tried the Eau de Toilette though. I don't think I need to with the EDP, but I would like to get my nose on Element, because if it's anything even remotely close to as good as Indigo is, I'm bound to like it. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this, and what do you think about it if you have? Did any of what I had to say spark your interest, and are you curious to get a decant or maybe sample it for yourself? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Mr. Burberry Indigo and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.